Israelis are celebrating the peace deal between their country and Hamas, many praising U.S. President Donald Trump's involvement in the agreement.
I want to thank President Trump for bringing this amazing victory. That's the name for it. That's a victory. He deserves a Nobel Prize for this, a Nobel Peace Prize for bringing this amazing deal. And we're waiting for the next few days to see the hostages actually coming back alive.
Take a look at this field in Israel where a farmer plowed Nobel for Trump. The U.S. leader has made it no secret he wants to win the award and become the fifth American president to do so. Trump has boasted about ending several wars this year, but some experts say his efforts have not yet proven to be long-lasting. Well, our next guest is author of Peace, They Say, A History of the Nobel Peace Prize, the most famous and controversial prize in the world. Jay Nordlinger is with Renew Democracy Initiative, and he joins us from New York City. First of all, why is it such a controversial prize?
People have different ideas of what peace is and who is a peacemaker and who deserves the prize. So almost every Nobel decision is controversial.
And do we have a sense of who's making this decision and what their criteria are?
Yes, there's a committee or Norwegian committee called the Norwegian Nobel Committee, and the 5 members of it are elected by the Norwegian legislature, which is called the Storting. So, in a sense, the Nobel Peace Prize reflects Norwegian political culture, which is mainly social democratic. And the main criterion for the prize, as Alfred Nobel stated in his will, is fraternity between nations. Who has done the most or best work for fraternity between nations?
In Canada, at least, the Nobel Prizes, including the Prize for Peace, are kind of seen as a gold standard of awards. And many Canadians are very proud when a fellow Canadian wins the award. In terms of the Peace Prize, a former Prime Minister, Lester Pearson, won for his role in peacekeeping. That was decades ago, and people still cite it with admiration. How do people in the United States feel about the prize?
You know, I think it's a less big deal here in the U.S. than in other countries. I was speaking with someone earlier today about Martin Luther King, who is the Nobel Peace Laureate for 1964. I'm not sure how many Americans know that about him. It's almost a footnote in his life. But all the Nobel Prizes, but the Peace Prize in particular, is a very big deal throughout the world. I think Oxford, perhaps the Oxford Encyclopedia, once rated it the most prestigious prize in the world, including the Oscar, I suppose.
Now, knowing what you know about the prize, about who chooses it, about their track record and who they have chosen, what do you think the chances are that Donald Trump will ever win this?
Slim, very slim. But if he has in fact achieved a breakthrough in the long-standing Arab-Israeli conflict, that will count for a lot. There have been several prizes given for Middle East peacemaking or attempted peacemaking, the Oslo Accords, for example. 2 Israeli statesmen, the prime minister and the foreign minister, and Yasser Arafat, the PLO chairman, won a prize for the Oslo Accords. Of course, those accords failed. Sadat and Begin won for the rapprochement between Egypt and Israel. Of course, Sadat paid for that act, for that rapprochement, with his life. So the Middle East has been important to the Norwegian Nobel Committee, as it's been important to the world.
At the risk of sounding naive, I'm sure some people are wondering, with this year's award not yet announced, and with this significant moment in Middle East history, brokered by, or at least pushed by, Donald Trump, is there any chance he could win this year's prize?
Well, the prize is announced on Friday at 11 in the morning, Oslo time. I'm sure that the committee has had its choice made for many weeks and is prepared with its announcement and so on. Could the committee change its mind overnight and switch to Trump? Sure, I suppose. I wouldn't bet my money on it or yours, but stranger things have happened.
Well, so maybe I'll restate the question. Knowing what you know about the committee, knowing what you know about the history of the prize, knowing what you know about how recently, as in, 24 hours since this ceasefire has been announced, like, do you think there's even a 1 in 1,000 shot that Donald J. Trump could win this year?
Yeah, earlier this week, I would have said the idea was laughable. But I'm not laughing right now, at this stage of the week, if this breakthrough in Israel, in Gaza, in that region, is for real.
Oh, it's very interesting. I'd say a little surprised by your answer there, but you are the person who has studied this and right into it.
I'm more surprised than you, Ian. Really, I'm astonished to be saying this tonight, but yes.
Okay, well, I'm glad we had this conversation. Jay Nordlinger is the author of Peace, They Say, A History of the Nobel Peace Prize, the most famous and controversial prize. Thank you very much.
Thank you.